My story, and the story of the gold and silver pawn shop, really starts with my dad, Richard Harrison. Most of you know him as the Old Man. Before he was the grumpy guy behind the counter, he was a proud member of the United States Navy. He dedicated 20 years of his life to serving our country, a commitment that shaped him in more ways than one. The military teaches you discipline, focus, and a respect for history that you just don't get anywhere else. It was during his time in the service, stationed in different places and seeing the world, that he first got interested in the stories that old objects could tell, especially coins. He saw them not just as money, but as tiny pieces of history you could hold in your hand. My dad's passion for coins became a huge part of my childhood. He didn't just collect them, he studied them. He learned about mint marks, grading, and the history behind each design. When I was a kid, he would pass that knowledge on to me. He taught me how to spot a rare coin and how to understand its value beyond the metal it was made from. This wasn't just a hobby for him, it was a serious pursuit. He saw the potential in buying and selling and the art of the deal. He knew that knowledge was the most valuable currency of all, and he made sure I understood that from a very young age. This early education was the foundation for everything that came later. After my dad retired from the Navy, our family moved to Las Vegas in the early 1980s. He had a small real estate business, but his heart was always in buying and selling unique items. He started a small side business, dealing in coins and second-hand goods. This was my real-world classroom. I worked alongside him, learning the ropes of negotiation and appraisal. It was a tough business, especially back then. We dealt with all sorts of people, from serious collectors to folks just looking to make a quick buck. Every transaction was a lesson in human nature and in the value of knowing your stuff. My dad was a tough teacher, but he was fair. He drilled into me the importance of being honest and knowledgeable. These early years were crucial. They weren't glamorous, but they were where we built the expertise that would one day make our shop famous. My dad's military background gave him a no-nonsense approach to business, and his love for history gave our work a deeper meaning. He wasn't just flipping items for a profit, he was preserving stories. He taught me that every object that comes through the door has a history, and it's our job to uncover it. That philosophy, born from his time in the Navy and his passion for coins, became the cornerstone of the gold and silver pawn shop long before the first camera ever showed up. In 1989, my dad and I decided to go all in. We took everything we had learned and opened the gold and silver pawn shop. Our first location wasn't the one you see on TV today. It was a much smaller place on Las Vegas Boulevard. Opening a pawn shop in Vegas wasn't easy. There were a lot of regulations, and the city had a rule that you couldn't issue any new pawn licenses. We had to wait and wait, checking the city records every single week until an existing license became available. It took a while, but we finally got our chance. It was a big risk, but we believed in our ability to make it work. We were determined to build a different kind of pawn shop. Our first customers were a real cross-section of Las Vegas. You had tourists who had lost their money at the casinos and needed cash to get home. You had locals who were down on their luck and needed to pawn a piece of jewelry to pay the rent. And then you had the collectors and hobbyists. People like us who were always on the hunt for something special. In the beginning, we dealt with a lot of everyday items, tools, stereos, televisions, and of course, a lot of gold and silver jewelry. We had to be experts in a little bit of everything. Every day was a new challenge, figuring out what something was and what it was worth. The shop was a family affair from day one. It was just me and my dad running the show. We worked long hours, 7 days a week. It was hard work, but we loved it. We were building something for ourselves, something that was ours. My son Corey started hanging around the shop when he was just a little kid. He would clean glass and polish jewelry, learning the business from the ground up, just like I did. And then there was Chumley, Corey's childhood friend, who eventually started working with us too. We were a small, tight-knit crew. We trusted each other and we all shared a passion for the thrill of the hunt. We slowly built a reputation for being fair and honest. In a town full of people trying to make a fast buck, that meant a lot. We treated everyone who walked through our door with respect, whether they were pawning a wedding ring or selling a rare historical artifact. We knew that our reputation was our most valuable asset. We weren't just another pawn shop. We were becoming a destination for people who had interesting things and wanted to know their story and their value. Those early days were tough, but they laid the groundwork for the incredible journey that was to come, a journey none of us could have ever imagined. From the very moment we opened the doors to the gold and silver pawn shop, coins were more than just one of the many items we bought and sold. They were the heart and soul of our business. This all came directly from my dad's lifelong passion. He wasn't just a dealer, he was a true numismatist, a student of coins. He had an incredible eye for spotting valuable pieces, and he taught me everything he knew. In the early days, before the shop became a tourist attraction, our coin business was what really paid the bills. It was our specialty, the thing that set us apart from all the other pawn shops in Las Vegas. We dealt in all kinds of coins, but American silver dollars were always our bread and butter. Morgan and P silver dollars, in particular, were huge for us. These coins are beautiful, they are made of precious metal, and they have a rich history that people connect with. We bought and sold thousands of them. My dad taught me how to grade them, how to identify key dates and mint marks, and how to spot fakes. This expertise allowed us to make smart buys and build a large inventory. We became known as the place to go in Vegas if you wanted to buy or sell rare coins. Our knowledge gave us an edge and built a loyal customer base of serious collectors. The coin business is all about knowledge. You can't just look up the price of silver and think you know what a coin is worth. You have to understand its rarity, its condition, and its historical significance. We spent countless hours studying price guides, attending coin shows, and talking to other experts. This constant learning was essential. We bought collections from people who had inherited them and had no idea what they were worth. We also dealt with seasoned collectors looking for that one specific coin to complete their set. Each transaction was a puzzle, and solving it was the best part of the job. Our expertise in coins gave us the credibility that became the foundation of our entire business model. Even as the shop grew and we started dealing in a wider variety of items, from antique guns to classic cars, coins remained our anchor. They were the one constant. The principles we learned from the coin business, the importance of research, authentication, and understanding the market, we applied to everything else. When customers came in with what they thought was a simple old coin, we could tell them the story behind it. We could explain why a coin minted in Carson City was more valuable than one from Philadelphia. This ability to share knowledge and history is what eventually caught the eye of television producers. It all started with those simple, round pieces of metal. For years, I believed our shop was special. It wasn't just a place where people came for a loan, it was a museum where the exhibits were for sale. Every day, fascinating items with incredible stories walked through the door. I saw mob memorabilia, Super Bowl rings, and centuries-old art. I kept thinking, this would make a great TV show. People are interested in history, and they love the thrill of a good negotiation. I just knew that if we could capture the daily life of the shop on camera, we would have a hit. But getting Hollywood to listen to a pawn shop owner from Las Vegas was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I spent about 4 years pitching the idea for the show. I sent tapes and proposals to production companies and networks all over the country. Most of them didn't get it. They wanted to create a show full of fake drama, staged fights, and scripted arguments. That's not who we are. I wanted a show that was authentic to our real lives and focused on the history of the items. I told them the items were the stars, and we were just the supporting cast. I got rejected over and over again. Some producers even told me that no one would want to watch a show about 4 fat guys in a pawn shop. I didn't let it discourage me. I knew I had a good idea. Finally, my pitch landed on the right desk at Left Field Pictures. They saw the potential that I saw. They understood that the real magic was in the history and the haggling. They helped me refine the concept, and we filmed a demo tape. That tape made its way to the History Channel. It was the perfect fit. The History Channel wasn't looking for another reality show with manufactured drama. They were looking for new ways to teach people about history. Our show did exactly that, but in a fun and accessible way. They took a chance on us, and in July 2009, the first episode of Pawn Stars aired. The main cast was just us, the people who worked in the shop every day. There was me, the guy who tries to know a little bit about everything. There was my dad, the old man, the wise and grumpy patriarch who always kept us in line. Then there was my son, Corey, Big Hoss, who was learning the business and always trying to prove himself. And of course, there was his best friend, Austin Chumley Russell, the comic relief who somehow always managed to surprise us with his knowledge. We weren't actors, we were just a family and a friend, doing our jobs. That authenticity, I believe, is the biggest reason the show connected with so many people. When Pawn Stars first aired, We had no idea what was about to happen. Honestly, we just hoped a few people would watch it and that maybe it would bring some more customers into the shop. We never, in our wildest dreams, expected it to become the #1 show on cable television. The response was immediate, and honestly, a little overwhelming. Suddenly our little family pawn shop was being watched by millions of people, not just in the United States, but all around the world. The show was eventually translated into dozens of languages and broadcast in over 150 countries. It was a true global phenomenon, and our lives were changed forever. The impact on the pawn business itself was massive. Before our show, pawn shops often had a negative reputation. People thought of them as dark, seedy places where stolen goods were sold. We showed a different side of the business. We showed that a pawn shop could be a bright, clean, family-run business that deals in history and legitimate merchandise. We made pawning respectable. After the show became popular, we saw a change across the industry. Other pawn shop owners started focusing more on customer service and the historical aspect of their items. We helped to legitimize an entire industry, and that's something I'm very proud of. The popularity of the show turned our shop into one of the biggest tourist attractions in Las Vegas. Before the show, we might get 70 to 100 customers a day. After the show took off, that number exploded to thousands of people every single day. They lined up down the block, not always to buy or sell something, but just to see the place where the show was filmed, and maybe catch a glimpse of one of us. It was surreal. We had to completely rethink how we operated the business. We couldn't do our normal pawn business on the main floor anymore, because it was always packed with tourists. We had to adapt to our new reality. The show's success taught us a lot about the power of television. It demonstrated that people have a real thirst for knowledge, as long as it's presented in an entertaining way. Every episode is a little history lesson disguised as a negotiation. Viewers learn about everything from Civil War swords to vintage guitars to antique coins. The show sparked a renewed interest in history, collecting, and antiques for a whole new generation of people. It made it cool to know things. The fact that our little show had such a massive positive impact is still mind-blowing to me. Before Pawn Stars became a television sensation, our operation at the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop was, honestly, pretty lean and simple. For the most part, it was just the four of us. Me, the old man, Corey, and Chum Lee. We really handled everything ourselves. We worked the counter, appraised the items, did the research, cleaned the store, and handled all the paperwork. On a busy day, we might have one or two other part-time employees helping out, but at its core, it was fundamentally a small family business. We all knew every aspect of the operation, and, honestly, we could run the entire shop with just a handful of people. It was a tight ship, and everyone pulled their weight. Once the show aired and became a hit, everything changed almost overnight. Like I mentioned, thousands of people started showing up every day. We simply couldn't manage that volume of foot traffic with our small crew. We had to hire more staff, and we had to do it fast. Our first priority was hiring security guards to manage the crowds and keep things orderly. Then we needed more salespeople to handle the retail side of the business, as more and more people were coming in to buy souvenirs and merchandise. We went from a staff of less than 10 people to over 30 in a very short period. The roles within the shop also had to become much more specialized. We couldn't all be generalists anymore. We created a dedicated pawn counter in a separate, more private area of the shop, so that customers who needed a loan could have some privacy and not be on camera. The main showroom floor became focused on retail sales. We hired people specifically for our online sales department, managing our website and shipping items all over the world. We also brought on more experts, specialists in areas like jewelry, art, and firearms, to help us appraise the increasingly complex and valuable items that were coming in thanks to our new fame. Today, the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop employs over 50 people. The business is a well-oiled machine with many moving parts. We have managers, cashiers, online specialists, expert appraisers, and a full security team. While Corey, Chumley, and I are still very involved, we can't be on the floor every minute of every day like we used to. We have to trust our team to run the day-to-day operations. It's a world away from the early days when it was just me and my dad behind the counter. The growth has been incredible, and honestly, it's all thanks to the success of the show and the hard work of our expanded team. From the very beginning in 1989, the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop was a partnership between me and my dad, the old man. We were 50-50 partners in the business. He put up the initial capital, and I brought the energy and the drive to make it grow. For decades, we worked side by side, building the business from the ground up. He was the wise, cautious voice, and I was the one always looking to take a calculated risk. It was a partnership that worked perfectly. When Corey got older and proved his dedication to the business, we made him a junior partner as well, giving him a small ownership stake to reward his hard work and ensure the family legacy would continue. The structure of the business stayed that way for many years, even after the TV show made us famous. My dad was always the senior partner, the patriarch of the family and the business. He was at the shop almost every day until his health started to decline. His presence was a constant. He was the foundation of the entire operation. Even when he wasn't directly involved in a deal, his influence was felt everywhere. He set the tone with his no-nonsense attitude and his unwavering commitment to running an honest business. He was the pawn in Pawn Stars, the heart of it all. In June of 2018, my dad passed away. It was a huge loss for our family and for the millions of fans who loved him. Losing him was incredibly difficult on a personal level, but it also meant a change for the business. According to his will, his ownership stake in the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop was passed down to me. This made me the majority owner of the business we had built together. It was a heavy responsibility. The shop was his legacy, and it was now my job to protect it and make sure it continued to thrive. Corey remains a partner, carrying the torch for the third generation of Harrisons in the pawn business. Even though he's gone, the old man's spirit is still very much alive at the shop. His principles of honesty, hard work, and the importance of knowledge guide us every single day. We run the business the way he taught us to. While I am now the owner on paper, I still see it as our shop. Everything we have, we built together. My most important job now is to honor his memory by ensuring that the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop continues to be a place he would be proud of, and to pass on those same values to the next generation, just as he passed them on to me. When we first opened, our coin customers were mostly local. They were serious, old-school collectors from Las Vegas and the surrounding areas. These guys really knew their stuff. They would come in with their loops and their price guides, and honestly, we could spend hours talking about die varieties and mintages. We also bought a lot of silver coins from people who were just cashing in on the precious metal value. We'd sort through bags of 90% silver dimes, quarters, and half dollars, always keeping an eye out for a rare date. Selling was also a local affair, mostly to other collectors or dealers at coin shows. It was a hands-on, face-to-face business. The TV show completely changed who our customers are and how we do business. Suddenly we weren't just dealing with local collectors, we had people from all over the world contacting us. Tourists would bring in coins they found in their grandfather's attic, hoping they had struck it rich. The internet became a huge part of our business. We launched a robust online store to sell coins and other items to a global audience. This allowed us to reach a much broader market than we ever could from our brick-and-mortar store. Our customer base shifted from a small group of experts to a massive audience of new hobbyists and casual buyers inspired by the show. Today, we buy and sell coins in a few different ways. We still do deals over the counter, of course. People bring in everything from single rare coins to massive collections, but now we also acquire major collections through auctions and private sales from all over the country. Our reputation allows us to get access to some truly incredible pieces. On the selling side, our retail showroom does a great business in popular collector coins, like American Silver Eagles and Morgan Dollars, which are great for tourists and new collectors. However, the biggest volume of our coin sales happens online, where we can connect with serious buyers looking for high-grade certified coins. We still focus heavily on US coins, especially gold and silver, because that's what our customers know and love. But our inventory has expanded to include more world coins and ancient currency. We have to cater to a much wider range of interests now. The key is still knowledge. We have a team of numismatic experts who authenticate and grade every coin we buy. We rely heavily on third-party grading services like PCGS and NGC to certify our high-value coins, which gives our online buyers confidence. The coin business is still the bedrock of the shop, but it has evolved from a local hobby shop into a global dealership. Looking back, it's clear that Pawn Stars became more than just entertainment. It had a real and lasting impact on American culture. One of the biggest things we did was change the public's perception of pawn shops. Before our show, the industry was often misunderstood and viewed negatively. We pulled back the curtain and showed that a pawn shop could be a fascinating place run by a family that cared about history. We made the business of buying, selling, and pawning items feel accessible and even exciting. We showed the world that behind every object, there is a story waiting to be told. The show also had a huge educational impact, which is something I'm particularly proud of. We made history cool. Every segment where we bring in an expert to talk about a Civil War sword, a piece of colonial currency, or a signed historical document is a mini history lesson. We reached millions of people who might never watch a dry documentary or read a history book. We presented history through tangible objects, making it relatable and interesting. I've had countless teachers tell me they use clips from the show in their classrooms. We sparked a curiosity about the past in a whole new generation. Furthermore, Pawn Stars fueled a massive boom in the popularity of collecting and antiques. The show encouraged people to look in their own attics and basements, to see the old things they owned not as junk, but as potential treasures with a story. It got people interested in coins, stamps, military memorabilia, vintage toys, and all sorts of collectibles. We empowered ordinary people by giving them a little bit of knowledge. The show taught viewers the basics of how to spot value, the importance of condition, and the art of negotiation. It made everyone feel like they could be a treasure hunter. Ultimately, the show became a part of the American story itself. We represented the idea that you can build a successful business from scratch with hard work, family, and specialized knowledge. Our family dynamic, the love, the arguments, the humor, resonated with people everywhere. The shop itself has become a landmark, a symbol of Las Vegas that exists outside of the casinos and big shows on the Strip. It represents a different kind of American dream, one based on history, knowledge, and Suri owns gas vacancy, and so Suri ombauofs, then desta mine stan Suri, ing Suri, dan duri tau and stau deed. We never set out to change culture, but by simply sharing our world, we ended up doing just that.